I guess the first thing we want to know from you is how's Dan doing?
Great to be with you, Nolan. Dan's doing really well. He's continues to make progress. He's very much engaged in the major business decisions. He's starting to come into the office more, he's playing a key role in everything that's going on. So we're very thankful for that, but want him to stay focused on getting better too.
Matt, you've been involved in downtown redevelopment for a long time. There's a sense I'm getting from talking to people here that we're in a bit of a slowdown. Do you feel that's true?
I don't know. I mean, I think it felt like it was just moving at such a frantic pace for a period of time, and people were like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and they weren't really focused on the fundamentals of real estate. And I mean, it felt like a little bit of that manic mode, and so I feel like it's getting to be a really comfortable circumstance now where the supply and demand are coming into balance. The economics, I mean, certainly construction costs are high, but that's in part based on this sense of this incredible demand, right? I think as things balance out a little bit, good projects are going to get built, and we're going to be much more in sort of a sustainable mode. So I don't feel like it's a slowdown. I feel like it's a sort of a maturation, and I mean that in a very positive way.
Now you have two major projects going, the Hudson building and the Monroe block. Where are you on those two?
We actually have four major ones going. So we have one campus, Marcius, that's going to be done just in the next few months, 300,000 square feet of new office with a great event space. The Book Tower, that fabulous, iconic building, they've been empty for decades, well underway with that. That'll be open in 2022. Hudson's, we're hard at work on. We're going to go vertical this year. $1 billion plus project, 1 million square foot plus.
So we'll see that rise.
Yep, and completed that with our expectation is 2023. And then finally Monroe, which will be a little bit behind the others as we kind of work from a cadence standpoint. Again, about a $1 billion, 1 million square foot project with a very significant component of office. So sort of down the path with two of them, one nearing completion, a couple of them well underway, and a third one coming.
So Matt, as you look at where we are in Detroit, these major projects, all the buildings you've done today, are we entering a different phase in Detroit's redevelopment? I mean, have we done the rehab part, and are we starting to see more ground up?
I think so. I mean, Dan would, describe it as going vertical, when you look at Hudson's and Monroe and things like that. I mean, so we're sort of just at that, transition point, right? Because Book Tower is a renovation. OCN, One Campus Marcius is kind of half and half, right? It's an expansion of existing building, but Hudson's and Monroe are ground up. And I think there's certainly lots more buildings to rehab in the downtown core and certainly throughout the city. But I think as you look to major offices and so on now, it's going to require ground up development.
Investment interest in Detroit still high?
Very high, very significant. I mean, I think it's broadly based too. It's other developers, it's lenders, it's retail tenants, it's office tenants, so we continue to see great demand.
What are the challenges ahead as you see them?
I think just continuing the cadence of activities. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, there's a little bit of a pressure on labor, and so as a result, the construction costs are a little higher than we like to see them.
They're up 30%, right?
Absolutely. So we need to sort of reconcile that a little bit. Part of that is bringing more skilled trades guys into the pool and that kind of thing. So that's something we got to pay attention to. I think we want to make sure that we're paying attention to the entire city. I mean, with the mayor's leadership on the strategic neighborhood funds, and that's, a lot of great things taking place downtown, but we need to cascade that out into the neighborhood. So, I think that there's plenty of things to be paying attention to, but nothing that is kind of blinking red like a roadblock.
A little more challenging than neighborhoods, though, right? I mean, the demand is there for the downtown space and the downtown projects. How do you generate that same sort of interest in neighborhoods that have been neglected, in some cases 50 years or more?
Well, I mean, good question. I mean, I think it's not one neighborhood fits all, right? I mean, if you look at what's taking place in near and downtown neighborhoods, they're exploding. I mean, West Village, Indian Village, Woodbridge, Corktown, all of those kinds of areas are doing tremendously well. The historically strong neighborhoods in Detroit are doing really well. What we need to do, and what the mayor's been focused on, are those sort of transitional neighborhoods that are on the cusp that you could bring back into very vibrant neighborhoods, good brick ranches and that kind of thing. And so we need to put resources there. And we as ROC are doing that in a very significant way, but we're following the lead of the mayor and Gary Torgo, the Strategic Neighborhood Funds, and a lot of others. So I think what you're going to see a lot of in this next decade is a pivot to the neighborhoods, and we welcome that. We think it's the right thing to do.